let's talk JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so if you guys haven't heard of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, chances are you've been living under a rock. I'm not kidding. Because this anime is so ingrained in shonen battle culture that pretty much every shonen battle anime that's ever been has had at least one reference to this anime in it. References to this anime are pretty much everywhere, and you are most likely going to miss them if you don't know where they are. But yeah, this first episode was interesting because it set up the rest of the series pretty much. It's basically about two boys, Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando. So it started off with with Dio's father Dario trying to rob Joestar's father George, and George kind of woke up at the wrong time, I guess would be the best way to put it. He woke up at the wrong time, thought Dario was saving his life. And we also learn about a mysterious stone mask in the scene, which is kind of a family heirloom for the Joestars. It's at the very least important to the story. Because it's hanging in the main foyer of the Joestar family home for the rest of the episode. And remember that part because that's important. So it shows up with several years later. It shows how the two boys have grown up. The father of Dio is a raging drunk alcoholic, whereas Jonathan was raised as a gentleman and has the nickname Jojo, and people have been referring to him as such. And during this time he also saves a girl named Elena, which also becomes important to the story later. So the two led radically different lives. Dio had to cheat and steal to get his way through, whereas Jojo was kind of handed everything a little bit, sort of. He was raised properly, and Dio was not. That's really all I got. So eventually Dio's father dies and tells Dio that he has a favor from the Joestars that he's owed, and the favor is basically that they raise Dio, which doesn't work out for Jojo, and I'll explain why. So immediately upon Dio arriving, the first thing he does is beat up Jojo's dog Danny, who I think is supposed to be like a white dog with little black spots on it. I think it might be a Dalmatian, I'm not sure. And throughout the entire story, all he does is lie and cheat his way to the top. Tells lies about Jojo to ruin his life. And the one person who never abandons him is Elena, who I think her name is? Yeah, Elena. Definitely. Yeah, Elena. Eventually Jojo and Elena become lovers. They become boyfriend and girlfriend. And Dio, sensing that Jojo has been happy recently, steals her first kiss, forcibly. And she can't bear to look at Jojo anymore because now she knows that her first kiss won't be with him. And this is the last straw for Jojo, who up until this point has had his name ruined around town because Dio spread rumors. Got his ass kicked by Dio. His father hates him now. And this is the final straw, and he goes to confront Dio in the main foyer of the Joestar family home, and decides and fights with Dio over her honor, and at first gets his ass handed to him, and then doesn't because he recovers quickly and easily defeats Dio, and sends blood splattering on the stone mask I mentioned earlier, which I told you, it's important. At this point, the mask shudders, falls off the wall, grows little spider legs for some reason. I don't know. And lands on the ground. And people believe, and the father shows up at the right time before Dio can stab Jojo with a knife, which he somehow just picked up, and sends both of them to her room because he's not mad about the fact they fought. He's mad about the fact that Jojo kicked Dio while he's down, even though that's not what happened. If you watch this scene, that's not even close to what happened. Dio just got knocked down because Jojo beat him up in a fair fight. And then Dio kills Danny and reveals that he wants to make sure that Jojo has nothing and that he needs to up his game if he's going to be able to do that. And then it cuts to seven, and then there's a cut to 7 years later, which is where the episode ends, because the next episode is after that 7-year time period. But this episode is interesting, I think, because this episode, I guess, if you want to say what this episode accomplished, it set up the rivalry between Dio and Jojo, who didn't see eye to eye, were raised completely different, and Dio basically envies Jojo and wants to ruin his life for that reason only. And he wants to be the richest man alive, and to do that, he has to destroy Jojo and leave him with nothing, and then only truly will he be able to be the richest man alive, because he can take the Joestar family fortune. I think I'm not entirely sure what his motives are. I think he just hates Jojo's guts. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, this episode is interesting. And there's also a scene of someone or something banging inside an incinerator. I don't know what that is. I don't know how it's gonna play into the story, but it freaked the gardener out, because he was the one who lit that incinerator in the first place, and he thought somebody was burning alive inside. And maybe there wasn't anything inside. Actually, looking back, that might have been Danny. I think that might have been Danny. Yeah, that's even more depressing. Somebody set a dog on fire. Dio put Danny in a box, put him in the incinerator, and somebody unwittingly set it on fire. I just realized that. That's depressing. Okay. I didn't click. I didn't click it when I watched. That didn't click in my brain when I watched the episode. But now that I'm saying it out loud, yeah, that's what happened. Dio burned Danny alive. Jesus, this series is gonna get dark really fast, isn't it? Alright, but yeah, this episode is just good. I like it as a starting point for the episode. It's a good starting episode. It's strong. It sets up who the main character is, what the conflict is, and how the conflict is going to be completely harder than he thought. But yeah, it does all the things that a good first episode should do. I like it. It's good. It's great, and you should watch it. But I just want to say that I am mainly watching this anime because season 4 is finally coming out after like forever. We've been waiting for a new season since forever. There's 8 seasons that are planned. And technically, this is season 5 because season 2 was split into 2 pieces. No. This is season 5, because this is part 4. We've had the first 3 parts, and the second part was reanimated. The first part was re-released, and then the second part was split into 2 halves. So this is 6. This is season 6, I think. Yeah, this is season 6. I don't know. It's confusing. It's hard to understand. I'm trying to make sense of it right now, because as you can expect, it's called Bizarre it has Bizarre in the title for a reason. But either way, if you guys have seen this first episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comments section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, hit that like and the subscribe button. I could always use a new addition to the Moon Rabbit Army. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!